Hey guys, what's up? It's September, and that means one thing. If you're an outdoorsman, it means this right here. That's right, elk season's here. We're gonna talk about wild game and how we cook wild game, and tonight we're gonna cook some great wild elk. How about that, boys and girls? Woo! All right, when it comes to wild game, the most important thing you can do is to age the meat. It is super important for it to age as long as feasibly possible, up to 14 days and even longer in some cases. But I aged this elk here that I just got in Colorado for at least 11 days, and it looks beautiful. I've taken it out, I refroze it after I aged it, and now it's ready to go into the cooking process. And we're gonna learn about what it takes to cook wild game, and the simplicity is everything. So let's get over here to this black skillet that's been getting super hot, and we'll take it to the next step. All right, first and foremost, when it comes to wild game, I'm a purist, just like any fine meat, and this is the finest meat to me in the world. We're only gonna use crushed, fresh black pepper all over it. Be as liberal as you want. We're just gonna coat the bad boy right here with a lot of crushed pepper, and then we're gonna take salt, and we're gonna use a lot of liberally with the salt. You're not gonna oversalt it. Again, this is kosher salt, which is not too salty. Hey, the coyotes are howling, the ducks are quacking, so we're out in the woods, so this is great. Feel like we're right at home. All right, now that we've got this salted and got the pepper on it, we're gonna use, my trick is bacon grease. This is actually bacon grease that we save here when we cook really our bacon, and it's gonna be hot, it's gonna smoke. We're just gonna get that in there and let it get really hot. There we go. Now, the idea is just to sear this. There, perfect, just like that. Beautiful. So we're gonna let that sear, super hot. We're gonna let that sear for about 2.5 minutes on each side. All right, you guys, it's 2.5 minutes on this side. Check out that, beautiful. We got another flame going, nice and seared on that one side. We're gonna do the same thing on the other. And then it's gonna go in the black skillet on the grill. That's the next step. All right, I just got the heat off. It's been about 4.5 minutes. It looks beautiful. Check it out. Look at the coloration on it. Nice and raw on the inside, seared on the outside. Let's go to the green egg. Skillet inside, just like that. I've actually shut the grill down, which means I had it up to 350. I've shut off all the air to it. So now it's just gonna sit there. It's gonna get the smoke in there. It's just gonna do its thing. It's gonna be great. And we're gonna leave it on here until I get an internal temperature of 120 degrees, and then it's coming off and it's gonna rest for 10 minutes. Okay, you guys, this is a 2-for-1 deal tonight. You're getting 2 recipes. So with our tenderloin, it doesn't matter if it's elk, deer, moose, whatever, wild game. We're also gonna do some mushrooms. One of my favorite dishes that I've ever learned to make. A friend of mine, Charleston, taught me how to make it. I'm starting off with a half a stick of butter. We're gonna get that butter in there. We've got cut mushrooms. All we did was just cut them. We didn't clean them. We didn't do anything. There's a little bit of dirt on them, but it always tastes good. There's nothing wrong with it. You just don't want to put water on your mushrooms. Right here we have some, this is veal demi-glace. In other words, that's like a beef stock, a condensed beef stock, beef base, anything like that will work. That's going to give it a lot of flavor. We're going to go in with some Worcestershire sauce, just a couple of dashes, 3. And then we're gonna take any wine that you've got left over, red wine. This is about 1 glass of wine, and I'm gonna pour that in there as well. And then we're gonna be liberal with the fresh ground pepper. Fresh ground's always better. Hey, the dogs are barking, the coyotes are howling, everybody's having a good time tonight. All right, and then we're gonna go with some salt. And what's gonna happen with this, it's just gonna start cooking. And it's gonna get everything's gonna melt, everything's gonna start cooking. They're gonna get wilted, get smaller, smaller, smaller. This is gonna be done when there's just a tiny bit of liquid left, just a small amount of liquid. They're ready to go on the steak, and we'll cut them off at that point in time. Our mushrooms are cooking, they're almost done. Let's go ahead and check the meat and check the temp on it. Again, always meat thermometer, super cheap. Greatest thing in the world when cooking meat. We're looking for 120 inside temperature on this. All right, we're right around 100, so we're still nice and it's cooking nice and slowly. Wild game needs to cook slow. You cannot get in a hurry when you cook it. It needs to cook, it needs to rest. It's just gotta do its thing, just like the time it takes for it to age. The longer the better, just like this wine right here. All right, you guys, the mushrooms are ready. This is what they look like, just a very small amount of liquid left in the pan, and that's it. You wanna have a little bit of liquid left, but not too much. It's gotten thick, it looks beautiful. We're gonna turn these off and we're gonna save these to go on the meat. We can reheat them for just a slight second right before you pour them on top of your steak. Woo! Man, that is delicious. All right, you guys, the steak is ready. This elk tenderloin looks great. I've checked it. The internal temperature is about 125 on one end, 127 on the other. So what I've got now are 2 cloves of garlic. I just peeled 2 cloves of garlic, get them at the grocery store. I'm gonna take a knife and smash them. Why I'm smashing them, it's gonna let all the oils and the flavor out of the garlic. Smash it in like that. It's gonna go into the pan. There we go, just like that. I've got another piece of butter. I'm gonna cut the butter up into chunks really quickly, put it all in there. It's gonna get nice and soft really fast. And then I've got right here, I've got some rosemary, just fresh rosemary. Rosemary's simple, easy to have at home. You put it in a pot, it lasts all the time. Usually survives the winter in most states. And so what I'm gonna do is, here we go, is this is all gonna melt right here. And we're just gonna roll the tenderloin around and all that goodness in there with that butter and the garlic and the rosemary. And we're just gonna toss it and let it just kind of melt it all over the skin. It's gonna look great. You can kind of see what it looks like. Beautiful piece of meat. There we go. Just like that. Excellent. I can smell the flavor. Beautiful. All right, you guys, it is ready. Check it out. Look at that beautiful elk tenderloin. It's done. All the flavors in it. I'm gonna set it right here. Shut this. Mushrooms. I put a little bit more fire on those guys. Coming over here, and it's gonna go right on top. Look at that. Is this not amazing? I know you're hungry. I'm hungry. Camera guys are hungry. The dogs are hungry. Everybody's hungry. Look at that. Look at that. Let's get a bite. We're gonna cut this so you can see this without me knocking it on the ground. Oh my gosh, that is absolutely perfect. See the pink on the inside? One thing with wild game, you cannot overcook it. That's perfect. It's gonna keep cooking for 10 minutes. I would never normally cut this, but I wanted you to see it fresh off the grill. It's gonna sit here for 10 minutes. We're gonna let it rest, and then we're gonna all share this and enjoy this. But I love Colorado. I love this elk. Unbelievable. Don't be afraid. Wild game, do it at home. Let it age, have a good time, enjoy some wine with it, family and friends, and the great outdoors.